Hello, and welcome to Voices in Education. I am your host, Natasha Lee. Hello and welcome. Welcome to another live. We're hoping to have a conversation about the women's 100 meters finals held in Budapest. And so I would love to have a conversation with you about what lessons we can learn from this finals. And so it is important for us to understand, that life sometimes throws lemons and we have to make lemonade. And so I believe you have watched the race. And first, I want to say congratulations to Sha'Carri Richardson. And this is her first global championships. And she got a gold medal. So congratulations to Sha'Carri Richardson and well done, Sharika Jackson and Shelly Fraser Price. I mean, the women in this final, absolutely amazing. And to all the competitors who entered the 100 meters challenge, kudos to you. Well done. All right. So I am hoping to hear from you and you can call in. The WhatsApp number is right there on your screen. So I'm hoping to hear from you and would love to have this conversation about lessons that we can learn from the women's 100-meter finals. And I'll start out by saying, never give up, never give up, never give up on you, never give up on your hopes, your dreams and aspirations. Never give up. And that's what I'd like to start out with first. If you're in the live chat, please comment. Let me know that you're here. Please remember to give this video a like, share with friends and family members, and encourage them to come on over and be a part of this conversation. Voices in Education is a safe space where we can share and learn together. So I'm hoping to hear from you. All right, so right now I am going to go back to some music and give you the opportunity to share this live with friends and family members. And yes, tell them to come on over and be a part of this great conversation in a safe space. All right, so I am hoping to see you soon in the live chat. Let's keep the chat going. And of course, I would love to hear from you. So why not give us a call? The WhatsApp number is right there on screen. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome. Welcome if you're just tuning in. Welcome to another live. And we're talking about the 100 meters finals, the women's 100 meters finals. So I am hoping to hear from you in terms of lessons that we can learn. So some life lessons. So I'm looking in the chat here. Trending sports and entertainment. Hello. Trending sports. I would love to hear from you. What are some lessons we can learn from that 100 meters finals? You can let me know, Trending sports. You can comment in the live chat, or you can definitely call in. I would love to hear from you. I started out by saying that we should never give up. Never give up on our hopes, our dreams, aspirations. And so that is important for us to understand that, there is always tomorrow. There is always tomorrow, in the sense that we might not be able to realize certain goals today, but, it does not mean that it's all over, right? in some contexts, it does not mean that. And so we can have the opportunity to re-strategize sometimes and go back to the drawing board and then come back and try to achieve or realize our goals. And so I say that in the context of Sha'Carri Richardson, and I know for sure that based on, what I can remember when she entered the scene in terms of the track, there were lots of things happening. And so in that, it can be a lonely place to be, especially when the world, is against you. And it's important for us to understand that while others may not believe in us, it is always important for us to have that self-belief, self-confidence, and that drive to continue. And so that is important for us in the context of life lessons, right? And so what I also like too, in terms of another lesson, is that we should try to fail forward, right? And when I talk about failing forward, in the sense that oftentimes we experience failures. We experience failures in life. And sometimes we allow those experiences in the context of failures to be our setback. But I am saying that we can fail forward, right? Let's fail forward. Let's use that as a motivation, as a springboard to go forward. And so that is important. I do not want to do all the talking this evening, and so I would love to hear from you. So just comment in the live chat. Let me know that you're here. I would love to get you to call in over WhatsApp and just talk to us about, what are some takeaways from that race with Sha'Carri, Sharika, and Shelly. Wow, the S's. Sha'Carri, Sharika, and Shelly. So I would love to hear from you, because there are so many, takeaways. And even in the context of, there's no limit that you can place on yourself in terms of age. Sometimes as women, we might be challenged to say, okay, you're too old for that, and so that is another important context. You need to listen to your body, and you best. So whatever you believe that you can achieve, that is also important. So I would love for you to be a part of this conversation. Please remember to give this video a like, share with friends and family members, and just let us have this conversation. What are some lessons you are taking away from the women's 100 meters, that finals there in Budapest? Like, what are some lessons you're taking away from that race? And I am hoping to hear from you. So you can call the WhatsApp number that is on screen there, and you can also share in the live chat. So trending sports and entertainment, any lessons that you'd like to share in the live chat, you can share. I would love to hear from you. So far I mentioned, never give up, always try to, never give up on yourself. And importantly, in the context of a race, run your own race, or just in life in general. Run your own race. Focus on your lane. Focus on your lane, because sometimes we try to focus on others in, other lanes, and we lose our focus. And so we want to maintain that focus in terms of goals, dreams, whatever it is that you set out to do. It could be, as in the case with these women, 100 meter finals. It could be that, but you want to run your race, right? So in life, you might see other persons achieving certain things and you feel as if that should be you, but give yourself the grace, the time, the patience. Focus on your lane. Run your race, because your race, while we might be, in lanes in life, we are faced with different contexts in our lanes. And so it's important for us to focus on your lane. You might see someone ahead of you, but that does not mean that you're a loser, because you can focus on your lane, what is happening in front of you. And sometimes, who knows, like today, you might be able to pass that person who was probably, down the lane away from you. And so it's important for us to understand that in life, we all face challenges, disappointments, and successes. I believe that we experience that. That's what I would like to say. It's not always down, down, down. So it's the down, but also the up. And so that is important for us in that context as well, to just focus on, our lane, focus on our lane. I'm seeing trending sport, hard work pays off in the end. Definitely. And I know these ladies, they have been working hard. And so it's important for us to understand that, sometimes in life, we have to work very hard to achieve whatever it is that we want, right? And for some of us, when we enter this world, we enter at a disadvantage. So, for example, you see people in North America, or I guess not just North America, just being Black, and for example, in a North American context, it's as if, it's a disadvantage in the sense where there's racism. Racism is deeply entrenched in the society. And so we have to work twice, triple as hard, because we don't have that white privilege. We don't have that. And so for some of us, we have to be very resilient. We have to work very hard. And as I mentioned, sometimes twice, triple, as hard to achieve and to be where we want to be. And so that is important. And in the context of that, it is also important that you need to pace your race, right? You need to pace your race. It is important to run your race. So listen to your body or pay attention to your context. You know exactly what is happening. And so the idea is you want to get to the finish line, but in some context, the race is not for the swift, right? But if you can endure to the end. And so you want to pace yourself, because not doing that might prevent you from executing a good race. And so it is important for you to run your own race. And definitely I'm seeing more and more genius here in the live chat saying, run your own race. And that is so true. Hello, more genius. How are you doing? So as you come in, if you're just tuning in, welcome. Welcome to another live. We're having a conversation about lessons we can learn from the 100 meters finals there in Budapest, in terms of these three beautiful Black women, Sha'Carri, Sharika, and Shelly. And definitely more genius. Congratulations to the girls. Definitely congratulations going out. And we're just talking about, life lessons. What are some lessons we can take away from this 100 meters in the context of, what you saw, what happened, like, for example, in the semifinals, going into the finals, in the context of Sha'Carri. It's like Sha'Carri was like what would they call it? The fastest loser. Well, she wasn't really she was faster than some of the qualifying times, but she entered as the fastest non-qualifier, right? Based on times. And so, but for that, she would have been out of the final. So look at it, she did not get an automatic, qualifying time, right? That would have guaranteed her a place in the finals. But she ended up winning, right? She won the race. So I'm just looking here. More Genius, they have been amazing over the years, definitely. They keep rolling out the medals. Probably Sharika and Shelly, you're referring to there, more Genius, but definitely for sure. And so we see that. So this is why I'm saying, for example, I mentioned a lesson. We must learn to fail forward. So just looking at this race, earlier, just before the finals, we saw Sha'Carri, right? Almost out of the finals because she did not get one of those qualifying times. So I believe you had to run first and second, first and second to get a place in the finals. So a guaranteed spot in the finals. She came in third in her semifinals. But what I'm saying is that while she failed in terms of getting a guaranteed spot, that drive that she got from the semifinals helped her to fail forward. So this is why I'm saying sometimes we have experienced failures, but let us find a courage, that lesson, something that can motivate us from that circumstance, from that dark place to move forward. So let's try to fail forward. Let's not be there and say, okay, this is not for me because I am like pretty much not supposed to be there because I did not get a guaranteed spot, right? And so importantly, what we want to do is to use these as life lessons in terms of failing forward, right? So we do not want to move backward. Let us use our failures as a method to move forward. So let us fail forward. If you're just tuning in, welcome to the Voices in Education community. This is a safe space where we can share and learn together. And if this is your first time here, please comment in the live chat. I would love to give you a big Voices in Education welcome. Please give this video a like. Let's just share. We're just trying to share here in a very safe space some of the lessons we can learn from the women's 100-meter finals in Budapest that was held earlier in Budapest. So we're just having a conversation about that. I would love to hear from you, and you can call the WhatsApp number that is on screen. I would love to hear from you. So I am seeing more Genius here saying the Jamaican team got a few medals today. Definitely. I saw that with Sharika, Shelly, and Ansa. So that's very good for Jamaica there. So in this context, we're saying that we want to fail forward, right? So let us use our failures, because I believe, as I said earlier, that we have all experienced some failure or disappointment, and it is important for us to sometimes just use it as a driving force or factor to become successful. All right. And so another lesson, in all of this is that there is always tomorrow. And sometimes we set out to achieve something today, right? So there is always tomorrow. And so, for example, just thinking about, and this is not a prediction now, I'm just using this as an example because we're using the race. So, for example, Sharika might be in the number 2 spot today, but come the 200 meters, right, Sharika might be in the number 1 position. Just saying, there is always tomorrow. So today does not mean that you should count yourself out, right? There is always tomorrow. And sometimes we need to look on life's lighter, brighter side and just try to find something to keep us going. And so that is important. And importantly, we should not try to underestimate others or count them out. And when you think about in a race, for example, running your own race, you want to ensure that while you're doing that, never underestimate somebody else. And it's just naturally in life. And I can share a lot of, experiences. For example, I might go to, say, an institution and somebody just automatically looks at me because of the color of my skin, and okay, this person is not good enough. But because I do not walk with my qualifications on my forehead or on my face or, tagged on me, you're summed up, right? You're underestimated. And I'm saying you should not do that, right? You should not do that. We want to treat everyone with respect and dignity. And also, we do not want to underestimate anyone. I don't know how people do that by just looking at someone, and I don't know. I don't know how some people do that, but it is important for us to never underestimate others in the context of abilities, for example. That is important. That's an important lesson, I believe, in this context, right? To never underestimate someone else. I am hoping to hear from you. So you can comment in the live chat. That is totally okay. Please remember to give this video a like as well. Share with friends and family members and encourage them to come on over and be a part of this conversation. You can call in to share. The WhatsApp number is right there on screen. Again, this is a safe space where we can share and learn from each other. So I'm still waiting to get someone to call. Who will be the first caller? I would love to hear from you. So far, we have been talking about some lessons that we can learn from that 100 meters run there in Budapest. And we have discussed, never give up on you, never give up on yourself, and run your race. So importantly, you need to run your race. So focus on your lane. We want to understand as well that in life, we are all going to experience some form of challenges, disappointments, but we need to just take those life lessons from them and try to fail forward, right? So we're going to experience failure at some point in our life. I don't know. I am yet to meet a person who has never experienced, failure. And so it is important for us to understand that we're going to experience failure, but what we want to do is to fail forward, fail forward. Use that as a motivating factor to drive us to our goals, right? Or whatever it is that we want to achieve. All right. There is always tomorrow. So there is always tomorrow. And sometimes we have to make do with what we have. So when life throws you lemons, make lemonade. Sometimes we just have to do that, right? It does not mean that this is going to be forever. Again, there is always tomorrow. And we want to never count others out, right? Never count out others, because it's sad that sometimes people look at you and tend to underestimate you. But it is important for us to acknowledge that, we can't just look at someone and just sum them up to say, okay, you're not good enough. I don't know, again, I don't know how some people do that, right? And so that is important. So trending sports and entertainment. Okay, thank you so much for liking this live. So if you're just tuning in, welcome to the Voices in Education community. I would love to hear from you. We're talking about lessons that we can learn from the women's 100-meter run there in Budapest earlier today. And I would love to hear from you. And so for some of us, or many of us, we understand the context, or, know a little bit about the context surrounding the race. For example, Sha'Carri, when she came on the scene, it was like, down, down, down. And then we see her this season trending in terms of speed. And, we're wondering if she's good enough. All right, just stay tuned. I believe I might be having a caller. So I'm just going to go to some music right now. Hello and welcome. If you're just tuning in, we're having a conversation about lessons we can learn from the women's 100-meter finals. And we have a caller. So caller, please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Natasha. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you? Thank you so much for calling in.
Well, I'm not doing too badly. A little disappointed, but happy at the same time. I'm totally happy to check forward in the 100 women's final, and happy for Sharika and Shelly. They did really well in that race today. I just want to, give them all of their performance. I know for a fact that athletics is most rewarding sport, meaning that, if you think about the amount of training that these girls have gone through and everything came down to less than 6 months, like a minute, it's really a great achievement for them. And when you consider the fact that they are competing throughout that, with people from all over the world, and they are among the three fastest women in the world this year, or the top three women in the world, right? It's really amazing.
Absolutely, absolutely, definitely.
Yeah, so as it relates to the lesson, we have to we have to follow through on whatever you're doing. Sorry about my background, it's a bit noisy. So
That's
I would say
okay.
that whatever race that you're doing, whatever race you're participating, it doesn't have to be on the track, but make sure you follow through to the end. Just right through to the end. Never stop 90% or 40, 50%, wherever. Just
Yeah.
never stop until you have that completed. So, that's something that I've learned from this. And I have to share with something that my mom shared with me. So she said to me that everybody pop is not ready at the same time. Meaning that
Say that again.
everyone will
I
have
hope
their
I
needs
hope persons are
at the same
hearing.
time.
Everybody pot is not ready
Correct.
at the same time.
Not ready at the same time. So
Wow.
it is Sha'Carri's time to shine. So we should just support her and give her that, that credit for working hard to representing herself in such an awesome way.
Definitely, definitely. Some great points there. So let me put you on the spot now. Did you have a favorite to win this race?
Yes, I did. I actually watched the race and I was really comfortable in the race. But let me tell you who I was. I was playing Shelly first and then Sharika second.
So you was
But
flip
it
flopping.
didn't really matter either way. Yeah,
You
it
were
didn't
flip
matter either
flopping.
way for me. But when I was watching that race, and I was like, all right, Shelly got a good start. Sharika ran faster and you know, created a little bit of gap there. And I was like, oh, Jamaica gonna get that one too. And then I just saw a little glimpse of Reddit on
The
in the
outside.
tree closest to me, and I was like, oh, something happened here. But even then, I was convinced that Sha'Carri did enough to pass both Sharika and Shelly. But
I
the
saw
replay
that
is something,
too.
yeah. But the replays come from that she won fair and square, and she must be lauded for picking up herself from that semifinal to come and perform that well in the final. So another point that came to my mind just now is that you don't have to, sometimes it's not good to be the spotlight. Sometimes when the spotlight is on you, it gives you that extra pressure. So I think with the spotlight not being on her, she kind of went under the radar and caught them off guard. So I think if they knew that she had a good run in the semifinals, they would be more motivated of how well she would perform. But as I said, it is Sha'Carri's turn, and she must have put in a lot of work, and she's redoing the role of stuff so hard.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I like that point too that you made about the spotlight, because sometimes we put ourselves under the spotlight and we take on a lot of pressure, right? And so, as you mentioned with Sha'Carri, because of what happened in the semifinals, where she was not given a guaranteed spot based on, the fact that she came third in that finals, it allowed, as you said, it removed that spotlight. So I guess all the attention, the focus now shifted to Sharika and Shelly. And so she got that moment, I guess, to re-strategize and to come back and to say to self, I have this. I can do this. So
Yeah,
she was just out there in her lane, like pretty much away from all the crowd and the speed in the middle.
distractions and all that.
And so she got that opportunity. And so it is important too, like when others write you off, you should you should take that opportunity not to write off yourself. And that self-belief,
Yeah,
that confidence, is definitely important. So I'm happy that you share that in terms of, that spotlight. That is a very good lesson. Like sometimes we try to get the attention, and sometimes, that attention doesn't work for us. And so sometimes it's important to work in silence, right? Work in
yeah,
silence, stay away from the spotlight, and let your work speak for itself, right? And so
for sure.
that is important. I really like that. I really like that.
Yeah.
And so I am
So
happy that you called, to share those. So keep going. What other lessons do you have to share with us? Because you have been sharing some great lessons with us so
well,
far.
I could share some more other stuff with you.
Definitely.
One thing is I've learned over time is that you know sometimes when your back is against the wall, then it brings out the best in you. When there's no way out, or when you're rock bottom. Let's say you hit rock bottom, then there's only one way to go, and it's up. And sometimes we need to be taken out of our comfort zone just to get that rude awakening that you should be doing better, you can do better, and without coming out of that comfort zone, without making yourself a bit uncomfortable, sometimes you're not achieve or take the pressure.
Definitely. And Paula, I'm telling you, I really like those points that you're sharing, because those are some important points. Again, you're just sharing some real life lessons here. Like, for example, once you're down, the only place you can go is up, like you're already down. So, up. So it's just thinking about, being positive and having a positive mindset. And you also mentioned that sometimes we need to get ourselves out of that, comfort zone. Sometimes we need to be uncomfortable to move forward. Sometimes we get too complacent. And so that can
Yep,
cost us. And so it is important for us to, feel that not too comfortable, but, just to get that motivation to move forward.
for sure. Yep. So that I think that's what happened to Shakara today, and she responded well. And that's another thing we have to look at life in all aspects of life as a lesson. And it's what you take away from your circumstances, your situation. You can be in a bad place or in a bad situation and you choose not to fight and lay down and die. Or you could choose to fight hard. So it's always good to have a positive focus situation because no matter how bad a situation is, there are lessons that we can learn from it, and there
Definitely.
are positives that we can get from it. So you need to just focus on that, surround yourselves with positiveness, positive people, and just be working toward our goal.
that is definitely true. Like, no matter what, being positive, and no matter what context, there is always a lesson in there for us, and it is important for us to try and understand that lesson, try and get that lesson, and that is always important. But I want to ask you, what do you think, or how do you feel about that, the love that we see on camera? And if you're looking at my screen right now, you'll see a photo there with Shelly, Sharika, and Sha'Carri in terms of sportsmanship. Like, what's your take on that?
Oh, that's amazing. Like that's the way that it should be. Like we should be fierce competitors on the track, but after we should enjoy the moment and enjoy each other's success. So it was really admirable to see that these young ladies could, celebrate together, take a few pictures together, and just savor that moment. Because, this year it's Sha'Carri last World Championship because Sherry. So we don't know. Maybe next World Championship is going to be Sherry. But you know, I think it's much more fun when you're enjoying your job. And I think that's what these young ladies are doing now. They're enjoying what they do. So no matter what compensation they get, it's like you're getting paid double because you know what's going on. They are loving it. Yeah.
De-
Awesome picture. I think that could, be a picture that would go on the front of anything.
on of
Yeah.
any paper, definitely. Just hold a moment here, caller. I'm just looking in my live chat and I'm seeing Lexi. Welcome, Lexi. And Lexi saying, love this picture. There is always a lesson. Yes. And she mentioned sometimes painful, but worth it. I love seeing the love. I love seeing the love. Humbleness is key. And definitely, Lexi, thank you so much for coming in and sharing those lessons. And if you'd like to call in for sure, I would love to hear from you. And it's just life lessons. And sometimes too, as persons on the outside, we create drama for people who are, going through life. And life happens to anyone. It's just life. Because sometimes it appears as if these ladies, they had a beef or something going on. And so I was very happy to see the love, and and even at the press conference that they had, I managed to hear a bit of that. And I was most happy to just hear, Sha'Carri, and Sha'Carri supporting Marie Jose Talu. And that is something that I want to mention, because one of the, I guess, the reporters who was there at the press conference asked, about, I think they posed the question to Shelley in terms of Talu. She was crying, I believe, when she was walking past the media zone or the mixed zone. I'm not sure what they refer to that as. And she was crying because, Talu has been there and just never secured a medal. And so that must be painful. But again, there's a lesson in this for Talu, and so I'm asking you, in that context, I remember you said your mom told you that not everybody pot ready at the same time, but Talu has been knocking, knocking, knocking. So what would you say would be a lesson there for someone in a Talu's position?
Well, I would say never give up. Never give up. You don't know when you're so popular. So, just keep going back to the drawing board, keep reflecting on your practice, and you'll see if there is any way you can improve your skills. Because, sometimes it's not even the best or the fastest runner who wins. It's the person who executes best on that given day in that race. So just keep going because, like, despite all, when you look at it, yes, you're disappointed not to be on the medal, on the podium with collecting the medal, but when you reflect on what you have done and see that you have a sport in the world, so that's an amazing feat. So you have to look on your situation and look at it objectively and reward yourself for what you have done. It's like that's a great accomplishment. So and see how best you can improve on your performance. So I think that's the route that she should take. You know, I think she performed really well. So I hope that she next time around she will be willing and ready to take her medal.
Definitely. Just hold on that. I am seeing VHB. Welcome. Welcome to the Voices in Education community. This is a safe space where we can share and learn from each other. If this is your first time here, please let me know. Please hit that subscription button as well. I'm seeing Lexi here. Lexi here. Okay, you're very, very welcome. And Lexi saying nothing is set in stone. Not because other people are better, mean we should give up on our dreams or passion. Definitely. Or, and I'm just looking at Lexi's comment here, or don't give up on your dreams or passions because others are seen as better. Make the most of it and try to continue getting joy and love in what she's doing. And I believe Lexi's referring to Talu here. And for sure, and this takes us back to my point here. And by the way, the caller is my co-host if you're new to the space. Rurian, in the context and listeners and viewers, in the context of how do you define your success? Is it based on a gold medal, a number one spot? Like when you think about a championship, like a championship, like a race in that sense, or the championships there in Budapest, for the most part, I believe I've seen it with like the Jamaicans getting 1, 2, 2. I'm not sure if it was at a world championship, probably the Olympics, right? It's usually 3 persons gaining a medal. Is that a measure to say that you're not enough, you're not good enough, or is it to say that in life we understand that we come into this world where you might have people, and this is so important, I feel. You have people that enter this world, right? So for example, I cannot run physically to even venture into a race like that. So kudos to all the ladies. They're super, they're amazing, and they're doing well, right? So is it that I am going to measure myself to say that, I am not as good, I am not good enough? Or is it that I am going to say, okay, this might be, my limit, but I mean, Talu has gone to like Diamond Leagues, been successful, and does that, I don't know, the number one spot, I guess that's where I'm going. Is it necessary to be there? Or, is it necessary to be there? Does that make you who you are as a person in terms of self-worth and, just measuring up?
Well, I think it's all about the goals that she has set for herself. So I would approach it from that angle. So
Right.
if she had her mind set on a gold medal, or probably just medal, to be honest, based on that semi-final run that Sha'Carri, without her redemption in that final, then Talu would be
On
a
the
bronze medalist.
right. But
thinking that if she ran similarly to what she ran in the semis, I would think that I might be the grandness smell. But are the possibilities like? But let's say she got that bronze medal. I'm not sure if she would be happy or not because I don't know if
and
like it
well, definitely, and that is important. So I feel like I don't know because I can't run in their shoe, never will. But I am thinking that in terms of a goal in that context, then you would have set like a time, right? That you would like to run, right? And if it is that you're achieving that, then I feel that that should be, I guess, good enough. Like, I don't know why she was crying, but I figure that, just watching these things over the years and just knowing about her, just not finishing, always finishing outside of the medals is, I guess, what got to her. I am not sure. But as I say, as I mentioned earlier with one of our, the lessons, fail forward and take the lesson from everything in life is just riddled with a lesson, and it's up to us to just try and figure that out. And, as I said, I don't know anyone who has not experienced some form of disappointment, failure. It might be at a job interview, it might be at a test in high school, an exam, whatever it is, right, in this life. And so sometimes we cannot allow, well, not sometimes, we should not allow those failures to define us, right? And so it is important for us to just try and bounce back. And as I mentioned earlier, as Black people, for example, in a North American space context, we are pretty much at a disadvantage by virtue of being born Black, right? We don't have that white privilege. And so it was just so happy, like I was happy to see Sha'Carri just being a winner. And I am Jamaican. And yes, I want the Jamaicans to win. And I was just hoping that Sharika would have held on, for that gold medal. But when I think about Sha'Carri and I think about just being a Black woman in this space and how hard it must have been, especially when she was going through her moments and, social media down on her and just all that, and just trying to rise above that. It must have been, challenging. And so it is important for us to just understand, just as Black people and just seeing other Black people achieve and just doing good, it's just to encourage and appreciate and support. And so I really love this picture too, because it says so much in the context where women are supporting other women in the field, and that is important. We need to learn how to be happy for other people's success. And I feel that sometimes as human beings, we tend to, like, sometimes for some of us, it should have been me. I should be there. And, we become very jealous or envious of others, and we try not to support them, to encourage them. And I feel, as you mentioned earlier, everybody partner ready at the same time. Please thank mommy for that one, because that is definitely a big takeaway. There is always tomorrow. There is always tomorrow. And then there is this just other aspect where you see people in their glory and you do not know their story, right? And so it is important, like, while you would like to have or probably be in a position, because everybody genuinely wants to be successful. I don't know of anyone who does not want to be successful. It's similar to these runners. They go to the starting line. They did not go there to lose. Everybody wants to win. and that is just natural. And so it's okay to say, I would like this for myself, but we want to appreciate others and understand that you see the glory, appreciate the story. You don't know where they're coming from, the struggles that they have endured. Sometimes you don't know as an outsider. And so that is important to understand too, in terms of, moving forward.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I think the commentators also said that Palu wanna be the 10 straight races coming into
This
the
year, right?
World Cup. So she probably felt that she was in a good pace in terms of her fitness and the times that she was running. But she was just outclassed today by some good runners and some great times because it's the first time, based on what was said by the commentators, it's the first time four females have gone under 11 seconds in the same race. So
Yeah,
that's an interesting and amazing feat that she has achieved.
for sure. And
So I hope you take heart from that and continue to push and try because last time Sha'Carri didn't even make it to the final. This time she's going to be on top of the podium. You have to see the positives in all that you do. From an outsider standpoint, I'm taking off my Jamaican cap now. I'm thinking that she should look into herself and say that these Jamaicans can be beaten. So those are ways that she can motivate herself, and I guess she'll have Sha'Carri as well as one person that she needs to measure herself against in order to do well for the next time that they meet, whether it's the World Championship or in the Olympics.
definitely. And I was saying earlier too that, as you mentioned, that everybody partner ready at the same time, that today they have another saying that they say, today for me, tomorrow for you. So I was saying that, you know, it could be a case where Sharika, and this is no prediction now, it's just based on, what we're talking about. Sharika goes to the 200 meters and win that event, right? And so that would be for Sharika tomorrow. So, failing forward, just
Yeah.
using today as a motivation for tomorrow, and just understanding that, what what today does not have to define tomorrow, right? And so that is also important there in that context. I'm just checking the chat right now. The chat looks a little bit quiet, silent. If you're just tuning in, welcome. Welcome to the Voices in Education. This is a safe space where we can share and learn together. If this is your first time here, please comment in the live chat. I would love to give you a Voices in Education welcome. Please give this video a like, share. Yes, share it like something that you love. And encourage, friends and family members to just come on over to this space and bank on it. Yes, you can put 1 million subscribers on it. Just invest in Voices in Education, because guess what? You are safe with Voices in Education. And I am seeing Alicia Clark. Good night. Good evening, Alicia. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Great discussion, quite analytical. All right. Thank you so much for sharing that, Alicia, and welcome to the conversation. And as with everything in life, we just need to learn and take away some life lessons. And that is important. And so sometimes too, the way we expect things are not necessarily the way things will turn out. So for example, a lot of persons expected Sharika Jackson to win, and that did not happen today. And so we need to understand that, like, we want, things to happen certain way, but sometimes life does not go as planned. And so that is something that we need to understand too. And if things do not happen the way we want them to, then does that mean that we are a failure? Does that mean that we should stop? Or should we try to, re-strategize, think about what we can take away from what has happened and just try to move forward, right? And so that is definitely important there. Rurian, do you have, I want to just go to a break, just go to some music, and then we come back and wrap up this conversation. Rurian, is that okay?
Okay, that's fine.
All right, so we're going to just go to some music right now. So stay tuned and we'll come back so you can share, your lesson in the live chat, takeaway from this conversation or your takeaway from the race. And we'll just come back and wrap things up. All right, so please stay tuned. Hello and welcome to the Voices in Education community. If you're just tuning in, I am on the phone with Rurian right now, and we're having a conversation about, lessons we can learn from the women's 100-meter finals held earlier there in Budapest. And the chat has been going on, and we have been hearing some great lessons. And so we're pretty much about to wrap up this conversation this evening. And so I would love to hear from you. You can comment in the live chat, or if you'd like to call in, we might have a few minutes to take a call or two. And so we would love to hear from you. So we have been talking a lot in terms of lessons, and I know I can share a few that I'm remembering right now. So never give up on yourself. Run your race, focus on your lane, fail forward. in life, there will be disappointments, failures. So we want to use those as motivation to move forward. Don't count others out, and the ability to appreciate others' success. Not everybody pot ready at the same time. Today for me, tomorrow for you. And just you might see the glory, but you need to appreciate the story as well. So, just never give up. So if you are working on a particular task, you need to see through the end. So don't stop. Just see it through. So follow through, never stop. And Ruri, and I'm not sure if I'm forgetting anything else because you shared a lot. Sometimes we need to remove ourselves from the spotlight. That was a good one, right? And when your back is against the wall, or right, definitely. So when your back is against the wall or you're down, the only way you can go is up. So just think about that. And you mentioned again there, sometimes we just have to take ourselves out of our comfort zone and just try to use that, just being uncomfortable and just trying to move forward. So, Ruren, do you have any final thoughts or lessons that you would like to share with us this evening?
I think I've exhausted what I have, but I just want to end by congratulating the ladies again, all three of them who made it to the podium, and all the other ladies who participated throughout the rounds. I think they will have a sense of a feeling of accomplishment, especially if you know in yourself that you have done your best. I guess probably that's another one of my beliefs. So, once you have done your best, then you'll get that sense of accomplishment. But I think if you haven't done as much as you can, then you'll feel a little bit, like you have done yourself some injustice. So I'm just congratulating the girls, and I want to wish the American team all the best.
Definitely. Definitely.
They have been having a tough time at it, and I'm just hoping that they'll be able to gain some more medals. So the medal count is three currently, and I'm hoping that they'll get a few more before the championship stand.
Definitely, for sure. And, I couldn't end without saying that, wishing Jamaica all the best and every other country. When you think about it, people work very hard to go to these championships, and what hurts? When you show up and you can't execute. So I think about Rashid Broadbell right now and Jaden Hibbert, and I am just sending you guys love and love and love. And just understand that there is always tomorrow. And so sometimes, right, just if them partner ready this year. All right. Their part is not ready yet. And so the pot might be ready for next year, 2024, at where are the Olympics next year?
I'm not.
That just slipped me. But anyways, so in that case, I am just saying that, we just need to be present in the moment, appreciate what is happening, take the lessons that we can from, events, circumstances, and try to move forward. And sometimes we just need to understand that, success is not always being in the number one spot. Because look at Shelley and Fraser Price, she's very successful. And she's not always a winner. Think about Usain Bolt, he has not won every race. And so he, even when he was retiring in London, I believe, he came third in that 100 meters. And so it is important for us to just understand that as well. And so we want to appreciate others. And so when they're there and they're successful, We want to support them. We want to, big them up and just allow them to shine. And again, sometimes it is necessary for us to remove ourselves, as you said, Rurian, from the spotlight. And that is a big one, because sometimes we put ourselves there and then the pressure, and we're not able to, withstand or respond to that pressure very well. And so sometimes when you are doing what you're doing, work in silence. Work in silence. And especially when other people write you off, you know your capabilities, you know your inner strength, and you know what you are capable of in terms of achieving and realizing those goals. So you want to stick to that. And so that is important as well. Work in silence. Sometimes the bag of eyes, no good. And so sometimes we need to understand that people might underestimate you, but, right? But you understand yourself, and you understand that you don't need to be making a bag of noise for you to be effective. And I always say too, there's a lot that can be communicated in silence. A lot. Trust me. There's a lot that can be communicated in silence. Where are my English teachers? Tell me what figure of speech is that? There's a lot that can be communicated in silence. Trust me. And so sometimes we need to be silent, work in silence. Yeah, there's a lot that can be communicated. I want to thank everyone who came on this live, who shared, who came over and listened, like the live, and just being here. To all the silent supporters, silent listeners, thank you so much for coming over. Thank you so much for just coming over to at least experience what it's like to be over on the Voices in Education's platform. This is a safe space where we can share and learn together. And so just, hit that subscription button if you're new. Turn on your post notification so you do not miss any updates from this channel. All right. I love to go live because I like to talk with people. I like people to talk with me. I like us to communicate. And so it is important. And I believe that from, experiences, your stories, we can all learn from each other in terms of lessons that will help us, will help our children, will help our students. And so this is why this space is here. Also, it is the goal of this platform to continue to support students. So every view, like, comment, share, subscription helps Voices in Education to, realize that goal in a bigger way. And so we're on our way to 1K, to the 1K subscription mark. So I am just asking you to hit that subscription button. Again, this is a safe space, and we want to keep it that way, where we can continue to share and learn from each other, because that is definitely important. And we can learn from each other's stories and experiences and knowledge as well. And so that is important as it relates to this space. Remember that in life, everything comes with a lesson, and it is important for us to just understand what the lesson is and try to take it and apply it to our lives. All right, so similar to this 100 meters finals in Budapest earlier, what lesson can you take from it? It might be that you expected someone to win and that person did not win. What can you take from that, right? And so that is important. So for example, a lot of people wrote off Sha'Carri because, she did not get a guaranteed spot in terms of qualifying for the finals, but she is the world champion. What lesson are you taking from that? And so that is important in terms of life lessons. And there are lots to take from it. We shared some. I do not believe we exhausted all of it. And so if you're watching this video after this live has ended, please share in the comment section, lessons that you're taking away from this race. And so again, thank you so much for tuning in. And to my co-host, Rurian, thank you. Hopefully he's still on the line, I'm not sure. But I just want to thank everyone for taking the time out to come on over and being a part of this safe space where we definitely share and learn together. So thank you so much, everyone. Remember, let's just take lessons from the things around us. And I'll say as well, let go and let God. Blessings, everyone, and take care. See you in the next live. So I'm just going to play some music, move to another photo that I have, and then I will sign out. So the live will continue until those pictures and music as I guess played out. All right. So see you in the next live. Take care, everyone, and bye for now. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to this channel so that you can listen to the different voices in education. Stay tuned.